Today I'm answering your curly hair dilemmas while styling my own curly hair. So let's get into it. First off, I actually have a dilemma of my own, and that is I don't know what product to use to style with. I feel like I've been using the same products to style my hair with over and over recently, and you're probably getting a little bit bored. Using the same products over and over is absolutely fine. But the thing is that I feel like I need to give you some kind of variety because I know that there's people from all across the world. So I'm going to do a very quick styling routine today, but my hair's been feeling quite soft and I don't really remember the last time that I used protein products on it. So I'm going to use the Curlsmith Bouncy Strength Volume Foam today. I used to use this all the time. I've actually only got a tiny bit left of this. I just found it in my little product bag, so I thought I'll give it a go today if there's actually any left in there. Ooh. The first question is, would you say a heat protectant is needed? This is a question that I get so often, and it's probably because you don't really see many people with curly hair using heat protectant. That's because most of us are using a lot of other products on our hair as well, and a lot of these other products do contain a heat protectant, or they contain ingredients that mimic a heat protectant. And also, we're not really using that much heat on our hair if you think about it. When you use a diffuser, you're using a medium heat, which is nowhere near as high heat as like a straightener or a curling tong. It's not going to damage your hair anywhere near as much as heat styling tools. And also the air is really dispersed when you are diffusing your hair. So I don't personally find diffusing causes me any heat damage. For example, this leave-in conditioner protects against heat damage. So this will have some kind of ingredient in it that does have a heat protectant in it, and a lot of the time those are ingredients like proteins and silicones because they like coat the hair and protect the hair. If I'm not using any other products but I'm still diffusing my hair, or if I'm on holiday and I'm not using any other products, then I will use a heat protectant. I'll use something like the Curlsmith Miracle Shield, or Umberto Giannini also have a heat protectant. If you're doing any kind of heat styling with straighteners, curling tongs, or if you're like blasting the like really hot hair dryer directly onto your hair without diffusing, then yes, a heat protectant would be needed. If you're using nothing on your hair, then yes, but if you're using other products and you're just diffusing your hair dry, then it's probably not necessary. How to find the balance of protein and moisture when your hair needs more protein. This is such a confusing topic in the curly hair community because I think that it's been a little bit confused. Curly hair needs both protein and moisture. It's not like you've got this much protein in, so you need to have this much moisture. Oh, you've got too much protein, you need to add some moisture. It's going to be different for everyone's hair. Everyone's hair needs a different level of moisturizing, and everyone's hair needs a different level of protein. So the question is how to find the balance of protein and moisture when your hair needs more protein. Use more protein. If you're using a lot of protein products and your hair's feeling dry, well then pull back on the protein products. One doesn't like balance out the other, if that makes sense. I'll link my protein moisture balance video up here for you. I'm going in with the Naughty Hey Curl Scrunching Jelly. I haven't used this in ages, but it's a really nice lightweight gel. It's really easy to kind of brush through your hair. It doesn't add any friction. I would say it is a medium hold. So I'm just applying this throughout my hair. I'm not doing any crazy like brush styling routine today. I'm going to try and do a simple styling routine just while I'm chatting to you guys. My curls used to be super defined and now they are not. I still do the same as before. A lot of the time what you find is that you're actually over moisturizing your hair. So sometimes we do need to just switch up what we're using on our hair and just think like, okay, how's my hair feeling today? If your hair's feeling really soft but you're only styling with a curl cream, then introduce something gritty. Introduce something like a hairspray that's going to add grit. Introduce something like a foam with protein in that's going to add grit. Anything that says strength in it usually has protein in it, and anything that says volume in it is probably going to add some kind of grit to your hair. Are you deep conditioning every wash day and like that is just over moisturizing your hair and really softening your hair? Also, it could be that you are due a haircut. When was the last time you had your haircut? If you haven't had your haircut in a long time but you're still doing all the same routine, then literally just having a trim could make a world of difference. I always find that. I've also had a few questions about how to style without a middle parting. I style my hair without a middle parting every single time I style my hair because I like to be able to flip my part, but you'll see that I've come out of the shower and my hair naturally parts in a center parting. It just does. But the way that I'm going to style my hair now is going to be removing that parting, and then I basically add my parting at the end of styling. So I'll add it like when my hair is fully dry. So to style without a parting, you want to make sure that you are bringing all of your hair out of a parting. So you could brush it all back like this, and then I kind of like bring it all to the side, and I do a little shimmy like this at my roots to kind of, well, you can see there's no parting now and there was a centre parting before. And you just basically want to just flip your hair from side to side during the styling process. But if you're brush styling, it's probably a little bit easier to style without a centre parting, because you can just brush all of that one section forward together. It's really about kind of bringing all the hair together while you are styling. How do I know when it's time for a haircut? There are various signs that you are in need of a haircut. So the first is your hair may not be cooperating as it usually does. You may find you're needing to use more products on your hair than normal to get it to like hold and to get it to look good. It may be looking a little bit limp and lifeless. Your roots might be flat. It might be falling flat quicker than usual. A very obvious one, your ends may be looking straggly, or you might have split ends. I think for me, the main telltale signs that I need a haircut are I'm having to use more product, I'm having to work harder on a wash day to get good results, and my hair is just a little bit limp and like less bouncy than normal. You hear that squelchy sound? That is so satisfying, and that is exactly what you want to hear when you're scrunching your hair. Also, I realised that I recently did a video about reducing frizz, and I completely like forgot to mention the fact that just my scrunching technique alone is something that helps lock the moisture in. So I kind of do a pulsing scrunch, whereas some people will scrunch like this. I always pulse, and I just find that really helps to get the product into my hair and like lock the moisture in rather than scrunching all the water out. How do you protect your curls from a sweaty workout? And someone else said, how do you refresh your curls after a cardio workout? The answer to that is I don't, because if my hair has got really sweaty during a workout, I do not like the feeling of it, and so I will always wash my hair. For me, the kind of workouts that I do are more like strength training, so like with weights. So I don't tend to get really, really sweaty, but when I was really consistent with my routine last year, I was going about 3 to 4 times a week, and I was split between upper body and lower body days. But then I would always do like my sweatiest workout on the day that I was going to wash my hair. So I still would only wash my hair like twice a week. If you know you're not going to have time to wash your hair after the gym, something you can do is actually apply dry shampoo to your hair and scalp before you work out, and then that can actually help to absorb some of the sweat while you are working out. So it kind of like works in the reverse way, like rather than absorbing the sweat after it's already on your scalp and like is greasy, you actually kind of reverse it and you put it on your scalp before it gets sweaty, and then it absorbs it for you, and then at the end of the workout you kind of dry your scalp and then just shake your hair at your roots. I think I actually mentioned this in my working out with curls video, which I'll link up here for you. How to add moisture to fine, low porosity hair without over conditioning and weighing it down. So in my product guide that I recently launched, there's a lot of recommendations in there on like how to figure out your hair type and what kind of products are best suited to different porosity levels and different textures. And a lot of curl creams are quite heavy for fine, low porosity hair, and they can make it look stringy. They sit on the hair, weigh the hair down. It's quite common for fine curls to be quite knotty, so you still need the moisture to prevent the knotting. So something to look for is these kinds of like leave-in conditioners, which are a lot more lightweight. You'll see they're very lightweight. Like if you go like that, it's not concentrated at all on my hands. The spray detangling sprays and like these pump ones are usually much more lightweight than the thicker creams that you get in the tubs, or like these ones are usually quite concentrated. So that's a really good way to add moisture to low porosity fine hair. How to make the curls last on fine hair. Mine frizzes on day 2 after wash day. Again, it's the whole thing with fine hair getting weighed down by products, because a lot of products for curly hair are targeted towards thicker, coarser curls, ones that can deal with a lot more product. But fine curls need a different level of care than like thicker, coarser curls. So what you want to look for is like very lightweight styling products, and Again, I would really recommend my product guide for this because I've really talked through all the different types of styling products and which hair types and textures they are best suited to. But if you're looking for long lasting hold on fine curls, you want to use things like hairsprays because these will add hold without weight, whereas some gels can be quite thick and heavy, and also some gels can be heavy in like oils as well. Something like this gel is actually very lightweight as well. I really like this one. I don't find it to be heavy at all. It's like quite a really nice consistency, but it also gives quite good hold. But because this is more of like a light to medium hold, you might need to use a hairspray on top, and I do think I'm going to do that actually today. So I really haven't done much to my hair at all today to style it. I've just put some foam in, put some gel in, brushed it through, and then I've kind of flipped it to each side and given it a scrunch. And that's helping to define the curls. This is one of the methods I follow when I really just need to wash my hair, but I don't want to spend ages styling. This was a very common one as well. Curls dropping even after using a hard hold gel. Unfortunately, not all products that say they're strong hold are actually a strong hold as they say they are. Like, I've used products before that have said they're strong hold, but they're not. So it's really about finding the right kind of product for your hair again. But when you're looking for hard hold gels, I would say for me, the gloopier ones are more, woo! I'm so glad I got that on camera. Hard hold gels for me are usually the thicker, gloopier consistency ones. I just find that those are the ones that work best for me, but there are some strong hold gels that are more of a runny consistency, but they don't work as well for me because what I need from a strong hold gel is something that adds grip. What you might be finding if your curls are dropping after using the hard hold gel, that gel is actually too heavy for your hair. Maybe you have fine hair, so then refer back to the tips from my previous question about how to add hold on fine hair. Just before I go on to drying my hair, this is a good one. I can't keep the curls on the back of my head from going flat, and it's driving me crazy. A lot of people will say the back of my head, not my business, I can't see what's going on there. But some things that you can do if you're styling like how I've styled my hair just now, then you want to really focus on lifting at the back of your head and then scrunching. And if you just focus a little bit more on that area when you're styling, you'll find that you'll get a little bit more definition there and it won't be as flat. However, in saying that, everyone has a different level of curl across their head. And for me, the back of my head is the least curly part, especially at the roots of my hair. And I've just kind of made peace with that. That's how my hair grows out of my head. But doing things like really focusing on that area, I think it's very easy to miss the back of your head when applying product. I think it's very easy to miss the back of your head when scrunching product in, and like how I'm scrunching right now, a lot of people just go like this and then not actually get into the root. So you really need to just be focusing on that area where the back of your hair will be when it's dry. Also, I find that my hair can go flatter at the back when I'm due a haircut, so maybe getting some layers cut in your hair could help. You don't have to get super short layers, just like long layers that blend in with the rest of your hair. I don't think that any curls should be all one length. I just think curls need the body and they just need a little bit of movement, so adding some long layers can really help just to add that. I'll have a look at my sectioning and brush styling videos because that's another way to help encourage curl definition and volume at the back of your head. I'm just going to flip my head forward and scrunch just to make sure that I've got all the way up to the roots. I'm focusing on the back part of my hair. Okay, so that is my hair ready for diffusing, and I'm going to use the Curlsmith diffusion dryer. And somebody actually asked how long does it take for this dryer to dry my hair. About 15 minutes, to be honest. 15 to 20 minutes depending on how much product I've got on my hair and how wet my hair is. So yeah, I really rate this dryer for quickness. Okay, diffusing took me 14 minutes 56. This is my hair after diffusing and after that really simple styling routine. The next question is one I get all the time, and it's the hair at the nape of my neck has terrible breakage, but the rest is healthy. It also gets awful tangles. The reason that our underside of our hair is more prone to tangles and breakage is because that's the part of the hair that is rubbing up against our clothes, it's rubbing up against our jumpers. When we sleep, it rubs against our pillow. When we're outside wearing a coat and a scarf, that's the part of the hair that gets the most friction. So something that I find really helps is adding an oil underneath of my hair at the end of a wash day on dry hair. And you've probably seen me do this before, but I just really find that it helps. It doesn't completely prevent tangles, but it does help. So I'll just glaze it over the underneath of my hair like this, and I'm only focusing it on that underneath part, so it doesn't really matter if that bit gets a little bit too oily or stringy because nobody's going to see that. I would rather it be protected with the oil than it be super defined. But also you can apply extra curl cream to that area, extra conditioner to that area, like when you are conditioning your hair in shower. You could even add a deep conditioner just to that part of your hair. But in terms of like protecting it, you want to make sure that if it's like really windy outside and your hair's blowing all around and you know that the hair is going to be rubbing up against your scarf, just wear your hair up, like just save the underside of your head. You could wear like a satin lined hat if it's really cold out. When you're sleeping, sleep on a silk pillowcase. Make sure your hair's tied up and that it's not creating friction by sleeping on like a rough cotton pillowcase. The final thing that I do, because I know that this part gets more tangled, is I will just detangle this underneath part of my hair between wash days. So I'll just take any tangled bits, and sometimes I'll do it when my hair's up, because if my hair is up and the matted bits kind of stick out, they're not curly anymore, they're dry and they're matted, so you can kind of get to them and then you just kind of gently prise them apart with a little bit of oil on your hands, or you don't have to use oil, but that just helps to add a little bit of lubrication. So just make sure that you are focusing on that and you are just gently prising the knots apart. Unfortunately, that is just something that happens with curly hair. Ultimately, you're not going to be able to prevent those tangles completely. I wouldn't worry too much unless it's like all of your hair is completely splitting off and breaking. So yeah, just try those things and yeah, hopefully they should help. Oh, also, I just wanted to come back to the styling with no parting question, because you can see that I've kind of diffused my hair and it's kind of gone into this parting. But when diffusing, I noticed that my hair does fall in this parting, it does fall in this parting, and it does fall. Like my hair, the way that I style my hair is so that I can wear it every which way, except for it doesn't really sit as well this way. Although I like how it frames my face this way, I just don't think it looks great like that. I don't know. So I usually wear it this way and give it a little fluff for a little bit of extra volume. But ultimately, if you've got wavy curly hair like me, you're not going to have a ton of volume at the root or definition at the root. I realised that the person who asked the question about my curls used to be super defined and now they're not, actually sent a before and after picture, and I would absolutely say that the hair looks over moisturised and it looks like it needs a cut, because this looks exactly like how my hair looks when it's over moisturised and or in need of a cut. So firstly, pull back on the moisturising products, don't deep condition, use less curl cream or no curl cream at all, literally just use a gel on its own, and get a haircut. You'll probably find that your layers have grown out, so it's a bit limper than before. Something else you can do is a protein treatment. Also clarify your hair. You could have build up from it being over moisturized, like you might have a lot of oils build up on your hair, you could have hard water build up. Clarify, less moisture, get a haircut, do a protein treatment and see if that works. Okay, let's do a couple of quick fire ones just to finish off. There's a couple about scalp care. Extremely itchy scalp 1 day following after the curly hair routine. Scalp care is so important, and I think that a lot of us focus so much on the curls that we actually forget about our scalp, and our scalp is kind of an extension of our skin, so we need to look after our scalp as well. And there's so many different issues that can be going on with scalps, but if you're finding that your hair is very itchy the day after you've styled your curls, I would just change your products. It could either be the products that you're using, the amount of product that you're using, or that like you've got a lot of product on your scalp. If you've got a lot of products on your scalp, then that could be causing like irritation and build up on your scalp, and like you need to clarify your scalp. Maybe you're not using a strong enough shampoo on wash day, so you've got increased build up on your scalp. And I think some people just react to different ingredients as well. My scalp is wrecked at the minute. Any tips? It depends what you mean by wrecked. If it's wrecked in the sense of it's very sore and itchy, then the same tips as before. A lot of it with curly hair comes down to having build up on the scalp, so make sure you're clarifying your hair, that you're cleansing your hair properly, and you're removing any build up. If you have a dry scalp, then try to avoid using really harsh cleansers. You could use like a more gentle cleanser, and you could also put a little bit of conditioner on your scalp just to kind of moisturize. You could use a scalp treatment, but ultimately if you're having scalp problems and it's not being solved by anything like that, and it's not being solved by changing the products that you're using, I would go and see your GP, a dermatologist or a trichologist, because there's so many things that it could be. So yeah, just keep an eye on it. Trying to save your curls after being in a high ponytail all day and getting the hair done. Once my hair is up in anything other than my overnight pineapple bun, genuinely, like, that's the only hairstyle that will protect my curls. If I tie it up in a ponytail, the top part gets stretched out. If I tie it up in a claw clip, the top part gets stretched out. Other than like a half up where I clip these bits up, I don't really do hairstyles on like a wash day or a day 2, because I want to keep my curls in place. I always think that day 3 onwards are for hairstyles. Please share your ponytail circumference. I'm on a regrowth journey and yours is my goal. So let's see, if I bring all my hair around, I don't have like anything to measure it with other than my finger and thumb, and that's the circumference of my ponytail. So my hair, I think, is quite deceiving. Like, you can definitely see when my hair is wet that I don't have a ton of hair. It's not low density, but it's not high density either, so I would say it's medium density hair. So you can, it's about like that. Does that help? Okay, and the final question, because I feel like I've been talking for ages. I've moved to a hard water region and my usual curl product is making my hair look greasy. Something you might find in a hard water area is that you also actually get hard water buildup. I do actually live in a very hard water area, so like every time I wash my hair, I am clarifying it. But it might not be enough just to use your clarifying shampoo. To remove hard water buildup, you actually need to use a collating shampoo. So I'll put some collating ingredients on the screen here. They help to remove mineral buildup off your hair. You might be finding that you've actually got hard water buildup as well, and so that is contributing to the greasiness and the weighed downness. Give that a go. Make sure you're really cleansing your hair properly, and hopefully that helps. And that is enough questions for today, I think, because I feel like I've been talking for a very long time, but I really hope that it gave you a little bit of insight. And these are my finished styled curls using the Curl Smooth Bouncy Strength Volume Foam and the Naughty Hey Curl Jelly. I'm really actually very impressed with these results, considering I don't think I've actually used this specific combo before, but my hair was definitely in need of that little protein kick, because you can see that I've got some really good definition going on right now. But yeah, I really hope that you found this video helpful and that I answered some of your curl dilemmas as well. Let me know in the comments if you've got any more questions that you want me to answer. Maybe I'll put them into another video, but I always try to answer all my comments on YouTube videos. And as always, if you did enjoy the video, please feel free to give it a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you soon. Bye guys.